All right, let's talk about something really cool today. How do you teach a computer to use a website, to click around and type things in just like a person would? We're going to build that foundational skill set, one tool at a time.
So yeah, that's the big question, right? How do you actually teach a machine to navigate the web? It sounds super complicated, but honestly, once you've got the right tools, it's surprisingly logical.
And it all starts with the most basic action there is, a simple click. I want you to think about this journey as us building an automation toolkit together. We're going to add tools to our belts one by one, and by the end, you'll have everything you need to get started.
Okay, let's get into it. We're going to start with the absolute essentials in our toolkit. These are your hammer and your screwdriver, the commands you're going to find yourself using over and over again in pretty much every single project. First up is the click command. This is, for all intents and purposes, your digital finger. Anytime you need your script to push a button, follow a link, or pick an option, this is the tool you're going to reach for. It's the most fundamental action of them all.
Next, we need a way to type things, so let's add sendKeys to our kit. Just think of this as your own personal robot typist. When you need to fill out a login form, type into a search bar, or enter any kind of text, sendKeys is your go-to.
And to make sure our robot typist does a clean job, we need a digital eraser, the clear command. Now this tool is way more important than it might seem. Before you use sendKeys to type in a field, you want to make absolutely sure it's empty first. Clear takes care of that, preventing a ton of simple errors.
Okay, so we can click and we can type. Awesome, but that's only half the battle. Now we need to add some inspection tools to our toolkit, tools that let our script actually read and understand what's on the page.
Because that's a really important question, right? How does your script know if what it did actually worked? Or how can it pull some information off the page to use for something else? Well, it needs the ability to see.
And this breaks it down perfectly. There are two main ways our script can read. On one hand, you have getText. This grabs the stuff a human user would actually see and read on the screen. On the other hand, getAttribute is more like peeking behind the curtain at the source code. It pulls out hidden info from HTML attributes, like the URL a link points to. Two different kinds of reading for two different jobs.
Our toolkit is really coming along. But, not all web elements are simple buttons or text boxes. Some of them are a little trickier. They require specialized tools, so let's add those to our kit now.
And drop-down menus are the perfect example of this. A simple click just opens the menu. It doesn't actually choose an option. For a job like this, we need a special tool that was built specifically for it. So, say hello to the Select class.
Using this thing is actually a pretty simple three-step process. First, your script finds the main drop-down box itself. Second, you kind of activate it with our special Select tool to unlock its powers. And then finally, step 3, you just tell it which option you want to pick. You can do it by the text you see, by a hidden value in the code, or even by its position in the list. Super flexible.
Now here's the good news. For a lot of other common form elements, our basic tools are more than enough. Checkboxes, you just use click to toggle them on and off. Radio buttons, same deal. A simple click selects the one you want. And of course, for a classic submit button, our old friend, the digital finger clicking, works perfectly.
All right, we have assembled a really powerful toolkit here. Now it's time for the fun part, the hands-on challenge. Let's see how all these different tools work together to get a real-world task done.
Let's picture a totally standard registration form. We can basically map every single field to a specific tool in our kit. For the first name field, we pull out our robot typist, sendKeys. For the tricky country dropdown, we use our specialized Select tool. That Agree to Terms checkbox, a simple click will do it. And to finish the whole thing off, we click the Submit button. See, it's like an assembly line where each tool has its job.
So you've totally got the core mechanics down now, which is a massive step. But to really become a master of automation, we need to talk about a pro-level upgrade for our toolkit. Tools that are designed to handle something called dynamic content.
And you've seen this a million times. What happens when you click something and a new menu just appears out of nowhere? Or you have to wait for a loading spinner to go away before you can click the next thing. These are elements that weren't there when the page first loaded. We call these dynamic elements. They change the state of the page without a full refresh, and they will absolutely wreck a simple script. To handle them, you need to add special wait strategies to your toolkit, basically teaching your script how to be patient and wait for the right moment to act. But that's the next level.
For now, let's just focus on what we've accomplished today.
Don't underestimate how powerful this is. With just the tools we've covered, clicking, typing, reading, and handling forms, you truly have the fundamental toolkit for web element automation.
You've mastered the tools. You understand the process. The only real question left is, what's the first thing you're going to automate?